again. I'm so lucky to have Bubba here from a man from Cork, and we are in front of, I can already see just there's a preset on this keyboard called Mr. Miyagi, so that means I'm buying one. If somehow I can magically get the money. We don't know how much, I don't know anything about this yet, but I can see it's called the Quantum. Bubba, you know everything about this. Tell me about it.
Yeah, I know everything that I can know about it. So the Waldorf Quantum is an 8-voice multi-timbral polyphonic synthesizer, and it's deep. It is as deep as the front panel looks. It is extremely easy to work with on this level, but it's also even deeper, and there's so much more. And without further ado,
oh my man,
we start on the left side of the panel. We've got 3 LFOs that are on the panel. Additionally, in software, there are
so handy, by the way.
3 more.
Yeah. Wow, 6 LFOs.
6 LFOs.
Jesus.
With tons of capability for changing them, and it's 6 LFOs per 8-voice layer. So
you do the math.
Yeah.
YouTube.
I've been trying to do the math, and I can't.
You don't need to do the math. Mate, you're a musician. It's fine. We don't need maths.
I'm a failed electrical engineer too, but we won't go into that. So so we got the LFOs.
Yeah.
And then we've got these oscillators, and these oscillators are really something special. We have, within each oscillator, these are stereo digital oscillators. Within each of them, they can run one of 4 synthesis algorithms independently of one another. So we've got wavetable synthesis, descended from all the classic PPG stuff, and descendant of everything that Waldorf has already been famous for. Mm-hmm. With your own wavetable authoring capabilities using the external input.
Nice.
We've got what's called a waveform mode, and this is sort of your traditional subtractive waves. These are your sawtooth waves and your sine waves and your analog style noise.
Right.
And what's really cool is that within each of these oscillators, you've got these 5 knobs that do different things. And so, for example, we changed the shape of the wave there.
Yeah.
We can now change this warp, which gives us, with this square wave, we get more or less the full spectrum of possible square waves and pulse waves.
Bubba, this screen is blowing my mind right now.
Oh my God, isn't it? It's amazing.
I just had to jump in. Like, everything you said has been represented so beautifully on that screen.
And won't name any names, but this screen is very, very responsive. So it's a touch screen, right? And one of the problems that I always have with touchscreens in music is that they're not responsive. They take forever.
They don't work.
This thing is super fast. I mean, I just turned the oscillator off. Now that's one mode. That's different mode. I can go in and I can do things like...
So you really have the choice in which you prefer to work with.
Right. Yeah. So what's really cool is that this facilitates the implementation of extremely complex modulation routings and just complex everything. You know, you can just reach in, and with each of these knobs that you see on the panel for the oscillators, you can go in and you can select the mod setting, and you can go in there and you can modulate it, and you can run modulation routings, and it's all very, very clean and well
love
designed.
that choice. Yeah, maybe you like flicking through the core waves with this, but like you said, mod matrix might suit you with a touch.
It's a very... I'm noticing as I'm working with it that it's extremely layered, and it's extremely well layered. So, you know, and
back to oscillator land.
Yeah, back to oscillator land. We have the particle mode, which we'll get rid of that stuff for a second.
Like
granular and samples. You can take samples in and you can resample. By the way, your 2 layers of multi-timbrality, you can send those to separate outputs if you so choose, because we've got 2 sets of stereo outs.
All right.
And the last oscillator mode is the resonator, which is spectral filtering, comb filtering, a lot of different interesting algorithms. Yeah. So you get a lot of the really interesting sort of plucked tones and breathy tones and really complex spectra being that are sort of interacting with each other in very fun ways.
Oh, nice.
That has really only been accessible in modular synthesis recently, and like it was not accessible at all, and then it moved to modular, and now it's in the Quantum.
Yeah.
And that's really cool.
Very cool.
So that's more or less the oscillators.
Lovely,
There's
yeah.
details on everything. There's details on it all, but you'll find all that out when we actually send you the details.
Of course, yeah.
Don't worry, they're coming. We got a nice little simple oscillator mixer. We have
Feels great.
We have a dual analog filter and the digital former. Now, these three pieces here make up the filter section. So you've got 2 analog filters, and if we come over to the screen here, you can see here that the digital former DF and the 2 filters are all in parallel right now.
Mm-hmm.
But what we can do is we can go and we can hit routing, and we can run filters into the digital former, or we can run former into filters, or we can run parallel like we just had it.
So comprehensive.
Exactly. It's very, very, very deep, very easy to work with too. Like I was saying, it's very,
I can
very
see
fast.
it. What I love is I'm not having to visualize it. It's beautifully visualized on the screen for a layman like myself.
Right. We really took the time. Waldorf really took the time to come up with an interface that was as much what you want.
All that, and then I can see the envelopes there next. It's so logical.
Oh yeah. And so, speaking of the envelopes, there's 3 on the panel, and another 3 in software that you can just access whenever you need to.
It's like screaming to the hands-on guy. It's like, yeah, you can get in
Yeah.
there, but then after a few years, when you fancy a change, you can maybe get into the other ones.
It's so interesting looking at this synthesizer because it feels like a synth that was designed to teach you how to use it and to let you as an end user learn how to be a great synthesist just by using it.
It's got everything. It's got a kitchen sink in there, mate. Sounds
Including, speaking of the kitchen sink, in our
there it is,
modulation section. I think this is a really, 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 really amazing thing to have on a synthesizer in general, but especially on what would essentially be considered a fixed architecture synth. This complex modulator is sort of okay, I've come up with a patch and I need this. And you pull this thing out of the air,
yeah.
And it's crazy and it's weird, and nothing that you already have, none of your envelopes, none of your LFOs have it. You can do it with that. Or, oh crap, I ran out of LFOs and I need a 7th LFO. Who are you?
Yeah.
But you can do it with the complex modulator.
They're on YouTube slagging me off. That's what they're doing.
Right.
But that's fine. Keep it coming.
And so yeah, the complex modulator is a wonderful, wonderful tool for creating deep modulations and interesting modulations that you're just not going to hear and not going to get in anything else.
Love
and our last little section is effects. So we've got knobs for 3 effects on the front panel.
But more here.
And another 2. So we got 5 effects total per layer.
Wow.
In the synth, and there's a compressor out there next to the master volume, an analog compressor.
I love that. 1 knob compressor.
1 knob compressor.
Again,
nice and simple.
Lovely. And you were saying there was a lot of excitement here. This is your first Namm as well.
Yes.
Do you say Namm or Namm? Namm.
I say both ways.
Yeah, that's cool, man. Both ways is always good. But you were saying there was a lot of excitement about this, like here.
Yeah. I've had everybody who's come in has just kind of been like, they'll look around and it'll be like, oh yeah, that's really cool. I want to see the Quantum in it.
Yeah.
And I'm getting a lot of really, really strong interest. A lot of people are coming up to it and they're really inspired. A lot of people are coming away saying, this is the synth that we've all been dreaming of. This is the synth I've been dreaming of.
Bubby, you've wet my whistle, man. And
man!
I'm gonna delve in and have a play on it. But
Put
I just
some
love.
headphones on. See what this thing sounds like.
I just want to say thank you for your time and for your enthusiasm, knowledge.
Thank
my
you.
Man. Thanks so much. Well, I'm gonna have a play on it, Bubba.
Yeah.
Anything else you'd like to say on it?
Nope. I think that's everything.
Yeah,
that's all the
my
stuff
man.
that I've got.
Pound it. Okay, we're post-play on the Quantum here. And I just want to say thanks again to Bubba, because he was so nice coming out. As you know, it's hard to keep abreast of all this stuff. And I just flicked through. What you heard me play was flicking through the first bank of patches. So I was just flicking through and seeing what came to mind. And I must say that the keyboard action is very unique and feels on a really premium tip. Like normally they feel quite generic. A lot of the keyboards out there often sharing key beds, but this felt very, I don't normally remark on it, but it really came out as feeling very great to play. Obviously I'm just playing the presets there and it's loud again, but I could feel that oomph, that heavy warmth. I haven't felt that since being in the womb. No, I haven't felt it. It's I reckon it was the Dave Smith, for me, like the Prophet, the latest Prophets, and also the new Korg Polylog. That sounded fat, but this had that depth and complexity, coupled with this action, and what Bubba was talking about. It'd be really interesting to spend some time with it, and hopefully when we're back in a controlled environment, we can show you a bit more. But hopefully you got excited. I'm excited by it. Thanks again to Korg and Bubba for having us. All the best.